Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Google Apps webinar with SRA and also Google guest Laura. I'm really excited about this webinar today because it's not only teaching you all about how to stay organized and just get your life together through the Google Apps, but we're also have a guest here to teach us some things that maybe I didn't even know about or maybe you didn't even know about when using the Google Apps yourself. So that's what we're going to get into today. But before we really get into it, I would like Laura to introduce herself to the group.
Yeah, thank you so much. So my name is Laura. I've been working here at Google for about 3 years. I graduated college in 2014. And I actually grew up in a low-income community. I was first generation to go to college, and I didn't know how to use a lot of these resources actually until I got a job. I think back now on all of the instances I could have used them in college and even in high school. There's so many free resources out there. What I do today for work is I work with app developers that use like the Google Play Store, and I help them make their apps better. So if you use any apps or if you have an Android phone, that's the kind of stuff that I do now. So it's a great thing, and I'm glad that I'm able to do it and use a lot of the same Google tools. It's really cool because what we use internally in our day-to-day is actually much of the same stuff that we have for the products for you all to use. So just the caliber of what you're able to do for free on the Google platform is like basically, you know, the front line of what we even use ourselves.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's really cool to hear. Cool. So before we get into the actual webinar, I just want to make sure that everyone can receive credit for this webinar and chill out with us and ask questions during this evening. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, make sure to type them in the chat box below. Make sure if you don't want anyone else to see the questions aside from me and Laura, then make sure to change your option from panel or everyone to panelists, and that way only her and I can see the options. If you're watching this webinar for credit and not just for fun, because it's an awesome topic, make sure to stay the whole time that you have gotten here before the 3-minute mark, and that you answer the pre and post survey that I'm going to launch in in a minute or so. Yeah, it's really important that you answer these questions. That way we can see what things you don't know and things that you have learned from this webinar. So it's very important that you do so. And in order to complete the pre and post survey, you need to be either on a laptop or a computer or on the Zoom mobile app. And if you're coming in via phone call, then you can't see any of these, and therefore you can't really engage with us and understand what we're talking about. So going forward in November, we are no longer going to have the call-in option. So you please need to either download the app or watch this via laptop or a computer. Okay, got through all the boring stuff, but important stuff. I'm going to launch the pre-poll now so you all can get your credit. So here we go. So yes, students, you can now answer the questions, the pre-poll questions. And if these are things that you may not know, it's okay, because we are going to talk about them, and hopefully towards the end of it, you will be able to answer these questions. So this is kind of the awkward time because you have to wait for students to answer, but it's totally fine. Take your time. Okay. Also, just want to note that I will be sharing my screen for the most part of this webinar. So if there's any questions, please still feel free to type them up. Laura and I will make sure to get to them. Laura, again, if you see the orange box, then that means the questions are being asked. Let's see. Okay, waiting for a few more students to answer, and then we can get started with the webinar. Okay. Cool. Gonna wait about 30 more seconds so we can get started. So wrap up answering the questions, please. Alrighty, dighty. Okay. So I'm going to end the poll now so we can begin with the rest of the webinar. And we can learn some new things. Okay. Ending the poll. And here we go. So let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. Okay, so yes, staying organized with Google Apps. This is just kind of the basic agenda that we're going to go over. We're going to be going over organizational basics, how to get organized, and the steps to get there. So first, setting up a Google account. I will show you an SRA resource for creating your own master planner, and more about Google Drive and what that is and how you can use it to better stay organized, and the Google Calendar itself, and also how to sync the apps to your phone. And then afterwards, Laura will be telling us a bit about a cool Google app that I didn't even know about. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so organizational basics. Basically, in order to stay sane and to get everything done within your school year, it's always a great way to open up your calendar, whether that be online or a paper calendar, and write down all the deadlines, assignments, projects that you may have throughout the year, right on the first days or the first month or whatnot. So you are already in the know of things that you need to get done before that deadline approaches. So something that I did when I was in college, on the first day of school, when we get all of our syllabuses that were, our syllabi that were super, super thick, I would make sure to collect all of those. And that was the homework for myself that I made myself do when I got home, was to basically get a really, really bright highlighter and just mark out all the days that I had deadlines, assignments, or projects. That way, when I opened my calendar for anything, maybe I wanted to go hang out with my friend for a weekend, that I could see, oh, you know what, I have a midterm that Monday, so probably not the best time to hang out with my friends. That's just a great way to stay organized and to stay on top of deadlines. So again, making a calendar, writing everything down, and just being consistent with your daily tasks and your weekly tasks. So now I'm going to show you all, in order to stay organized and understand what we're doing with Google today, I'm just going to show you guys how to quickly set up a Google account. And Laura, if there's anything that you're like, hey, maybe you should add this, then feel free to comment. So let me just get my screen open here. So I'm going to make I'm basically just going to make a new email address right now. So in order to create a Google account, you can go to google.com or Google Accounts. And you can create your own account. So let's say my account in Google. And there, I'm going to sign in, but because I don't have one already, I'm going to make my own. Sorry, click the wrong link. Let me see here. There we go. That was the one. And so here, you're just going to be putting in your name. So I'll just put Carol, Ashley, and an email address that I might want to choose. So I will put in one that I've never made up before, but Ashley 33. There we go. That's one that's probably, nope, that one is made. So I'm gonna add extra 3. Cool, and then I'll put in my own password, confirm, and then also put in my birthday. Just gonna make up a day, make up a year, 1860, I don't know. Nope, that one's too old. All right, we're gonna put in that. That's not my birth year, but we're just gonna put that there. And then putting in a current address that you can use. I'll just use my old UCSC one when I went to college. And that's the way to set up your account. So that way you can go to that previous account and verify that it's you. And there you agree. If you want, well, I guess see my phone number. If you guys want that, then you can, let me click back actually. Nope, nope, yep, okay. Well, I got the text message for clicking a verification code, and it is here, 43799. And that's just another way to sync any Google apps that you have with your phone. And there I have made my own Google account. And if you see here on the side, all of the Google apps are there readily available for you. That'd be YouTube, Gmail, Google Drive, Calendar, all that jazz. And we'll be getting into that more in a second. But that is just how you create a Google account. Anything that I'm missing or you'd like to add, Laura?
No, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's super easy to do, and it does sync with all of your other Google tools, which is really great. So you can do things that you wouldn't previously be able to do, like, for example, if you were using YouTube, right, instead of having to create a new YouTube account, you could have a YouTube account already associated with your email, and then you can save things and all kinds of stuff that you might already be using. If you are already using YouTube, if you are already using, maps, all these kinds of things, you might already have a Google account that you didn't really think about as one that you'd made through this process. So I would definitely just go to google.com, and sometimes you actually already have an account.
Yeah, that's a really important thing to me, guys. I've definitely made multiple YouTube accounts as a kid and then realized that I have so many. So that's really a good, important tip to use. So now I'm just going to quickly show you all a master planner that you can also use in order to stay organized while you're in school. So in order to do that and get to that cool Excel sheet, you'll just be going to students, SRA college2career.org, and that'll take you to our hub where you will go to resources. And there you can put in school planner and it will pop up the school planner. So I'll just put that here. And there, an Excel sheet with basically multiple tabs from daily, weekly to semester planning is there readily available for you. I'm just going to quickly go over it because I want to leave more time for the cool Google apps that Laura is going to talk about. But here you can see the bottom lower tabs that we have daily schedules, so you can put down your whole from waking up to going to bed, which you're going to be doing during the day, and you can put down Monday, Wednesday, Friday if that is is that something you want to do. We also have weekly assignments where you can put in your classes and the weekly assignments that come with that, whether that be homework, tests, or assignments. And then also semester assignments. So you can put that here for each class and even putting down how much is worth. So 20%, that's enough. You really want to get a good grade on that paper. And then also just a general to-do list of your life in general. So here, for example, we have, completing the FAFSA renewal if you are in college, or making sure that you're paying your credit card bills on time, because that is a thing you need to do in order to not be in debt. So those are things you can put on this Excel sheet. But this is a copy of the SRA copy, so you can't, as you can see, I cannot type and put anything. So in order to make your own, you'll go to File, Make a Copy, and then you can just put in Carol's Life Planner or anything, any title that you would like to make sure that you're on top of things. And you can save it to your own Google Drive. But that's super quick. Just wanted to go over that and show you guys that resource. Alrighty. And then we're going to go into Google Drive. So I'm going to show Google Drive, but Laura, is there anything that you would like to explain or add to what Google Drive is?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't realize that Google Drive can hold any type of file. So more traditionally, you think with your Google Drive, you can put, documents that you make on like Google Docs or maybe spreadsheets that you make on Google Spreadsheets, but you can also upload any type of file. So this could be some photos that you might have. This could be music. This could be, a way for you to, let's say you have a PDF of a book, of one of your textbooks, and you want to share it with one of your friends, right? You can upload that to Google Drive and then share that Drive link with them versus having to maybe send it through email if it's a really large book. So I do that all the time whenever I need to share any kind of file. It doesn't necessarily have to be like the more traditional digital files that you think about associated with Google.
Yes. And also, I want to leave more time for you to talk about the apps in general. So I'm just going to quickly show you all what Google Drive looks like and what kind of things you can input there. So here, like I said, with once you've created your own app, you can go to Google Drive here. And there you'll see just a ton of, well, this is mine, it's already set up and there's a lot of different files there, so I'm not gonna go too in depth with what that looks like. But here you can see that there's different files. So there's Excel sheets, there's documents, there's a lot of different things that you can include there. I'll show you here. You can input slides, documents, Excel sheets, and anything of that nature can go into your Google Drive. And then you can also, another thing that's, really cool and a great thing to use with Google Drive, why is that not working? There we go, is that you can share your documents with other people. So these are documents that other people have shared with me, and that way we can all work on them together. So I think that's a really cool way to stay organized and also a great way to work efficiently with other people and working at the same time. So that's really cool. But I'm gonna move on so we can get more to other things. Again, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box below. And now we're gonna get on to Google Calendar. So Laura, is there anything you would like to share about Google Calendar?
Yeah, so Google Calendar is basically my whole life on a calendar. I put everything on there from work meetings, stuff with friends, stuff with family, personal things that I want to do, like get a haircut. I'll put everything on there. There's a lot of different settings, so you can, for example, create things that are shared with maybe some of your classmates that you work with, but let's say you have some personal things you want to put on there, they can be shown as private as well. So let's say, for example, you have a buddy of yours that you want to do some sort of project with, right? You can actually share your calendar with them so they can see everything on your calendar. They can select a time that you have open to make that meeting with you, but they don't necessarily have to share, you don't have to share your whole life with them, right? You can only share the pieces of your calendar that you want to share with them. So it's really useful. It's an easy way to make time for people. As silly as it sounds, I do this in my personal life too. So my boyfriend, my sister, different people in my life, they have access to my calendar and they are able to see when I'm free so that we can have a good time to connect.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's a question. Do you want me to go ahead and read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is more for Laura, but how come Google doesn't allow you to add more colors to organize your events? Will they in the future? Yes, you can add multiple colors. That is something that you should be able to do already with the calendar. So if you open your calendar, so you have your primary color, right? But if you click onto a specific event, you can change the color of that event. So for example, do you want to click on it? Do you want to right click on one of your events and
I will click on this one.
Yeah, and you can edit one, and then you should be able to, down at the bottom, it says event color right on top of notifications. You can choose any color you want for any event, and that's a good way to maybe prioritize. If there's really important events, you might want to make them red, just like Carol did here.
Yeah, and like she said, this is another way as well. If, like, for example, I am sending something to someone and I want to make sure that they actually see my event, so I can input their actual email address and add them to that, so that way they're seeing that we are both on the same calendar and both on the same event. So that's another thing. Is there anything else we'd like to add?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Is there any more questions?
Oh, there was one more color. There was one more question. I know of those colors, but I was wondering if there would be more colors available because I have used them all. Wow.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure. Will you go back to that? I don't know if they're planning on adding any additional colors. There is a new version of Google Calendar that is being released by Google really soon. I don't know exactly the date, but I believe that the new version will have some additional colors, but we are making a new iteration of it beyond the colors that you're already seeing here. Great question.
Yeah, thank you. So that's a bit about what Google Calendar looks like and how you can use it. And one way that I use it in college was making sure to keep all my classes there, so I knew when to block out times that these were where my classes were, and also inputting study times. So I knew that, okay, this is the time from 5 to 6 I'm studying because I have dance practice from 7 to 12 o'clock at night, and I'm not going to study after that. So it's just a great way to really not calculate, but allot times to studying and to when to socialize. And again, you can use all of these apps on your phone as long as you're downloading the Google app. And that way, if you don't have your laptop with you at one point, then everyone always has their phone next to them. So that way you can stay in the know with a lot of your documents or on time with schedules and appointments and whatnot. Cool. I left about 10 minutes of time for you to talk about this Google app, and if we have any questions afterwards. If we run a bit close to about 6:57, I'm going to just let you know so we can post the post poll and stuff like that.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. So one other thing I wanted to just say about syncing everything with your phone. So you can set up push notifications for different calendar events. You can set up notifications for when you get emails, all these different things. And then if you have an Android phone, you can also use a lot of these apps as widgets on your phone. Mm-hmm. So I can show you on my phone. I don't know if you can quite see my screen, but I actually have my calendar and my email address as little squares on my phone itself, which is super convenient for me. And I also wanted to show you all a relatively new app that we had released called Google Keep. One second, let me show it here. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, can see it.
Awesome. So this is Google Keep. There is a web version, and then there's also a mobile app version, and they'll sync with each other as long as you have your account set up. And it's super convenient. It looks like this on your phone, and essentially it's a way for you to just write sticky notes, but virtual sticky notes, right? So these notes could be images that you saw online. You could make lists of things you have to do, all kinds of things, and you can actually tag dates and times and locations with them. So let's say you have a sticky note, you want to, I don't know, get a specific thing done, and you have an appointment at this time, you can set a reminder that is associated with the sticky note that you make. It's super easy to use. You can even have it through a voice note. So if you're driving and all of a sudden you remembered, oh man, I really need to pick up milk later. So you can, press the keep button and then speak into it and say, hey, leave a note for me to get some milk later, or whatever it is you need to do. It's super easy, and you can also share it with your friends and family. So you can share your different notes, which is an easy way for you to do group lists and stuff. For example, my friends and I will throw, get-togethers and things, and we'll brainstorm ideas. And I don't know if you've ever been in a group chat of a bunch of girls trying to figure out what they want to do, but it goes a million miles a second. Nobody knows what the earlier suggestions were, and it's just kind of a disaster. So this is an easy way for you to all have a shared list that you can type in together. That is a lot easier than doing the group texting and getting a million notifications. So it's super easy. All of these Google products are completely free. They're super easy to set up as long as you have your Google account. So I highly suggest you trying a couple of them. If you're the kind of person that, having that structured calendar feels really intense for you, Google Keep is an easier way that's more lightweight planning with just notes instead of doing the full-on calendar. I usually do a mix of these types of things. I personally love writing things down. So things that I used to write down on paper, I'll now write on here. And I do all kinds of funny things, where I will actually write something down on a real sticky note. I'll take a photo of it and put it in my Keep. because sometimes, you know, you enjoy writing things down. So if that is your style and you're more traditional in that way, you can also integrate that and make sure that you have a digital copy as well if you need it.
Awesome. Wow, thank you. That was really cool. Another great tool to use in order to stay organized. That is something that I'm definitely gonna look into. Let me see. Ooh, this is really huge. Okay, cool. So I'm going to launch the poll questions right now so students can receive credit for the webinar. But while I am launching the questions, if any students have any questions of their own, please feel free to type away. But I just wanted to thank you so much, Laura, for chilling with us all at 6 o'clock at night. I know that's something maybe you want to be doing other things, so I'm really, really appreciative and happy that you came on to help us. And also sharing this new awesome app that I've never really heard of, and I'm really happy that I have in order for me to stay more organized and stay more on top of my things. So just thank you so, so much for helping us with this.
You're welcome. I'm super glad to help. And like I said, a lot of these things I wish that I had known about when I was younger and I was in school. So I hope you really do use it. They work great. And honestly, once you start using it, like you can't even imagine going back to having to do everything by hand and like forgetting things and stuff. I never forget anything anymore, and it's awesome.
That is awesome. Great. If there's any other words of wisdom you'd like to share or anything for the students, now would be a great time. And if not, just thank you again for coming on tonight. That was super helpful.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I have any particular words of wisdom to share, but I guess from a career perspective, I love my job. I came from relatively humble beginnings, and I really feel like anyone can do anything. And I think you all are super fortunate to have the resources of this program, and I'm really glad that I was able to work with you all. Thanks.
Awesome. Cool. Well, now that for students who have answered the questions, you're free to enjoy the rest of your evening and you've received credit. For those that have not, please answer them now and we are good to go. So thank you, Laura, so much. I'm going to stay on for a bit so I can make sure the students answer their questions. But yeah, that's basically the end of the webinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining in.
Perfect. Thanks. Have a good day, all.
Bye. Let's see, a couple more students to answer, and then I will end the webinar. Okay, waiting on one more student, and we did it. All right, everyone have a great rest of your evening, and thank you for watching this webinar with us all. Bye.